Alright, so here we are in the second part of this plotting and planning for a SAT story. One of the requirements is that there is something magical found. Something magical that can change the character or the setting or the place that they are. Well, if you think about it, when we made the character of the boy, we said that he was in a market. So, we're going to start it in the market. And I would say to the children, what can you see, what can you hear in that market? Well, let's say it's going to be busy, and it's going to be pretty smelly. Yeah. What else is going to be in that place? Well, it's going to be busy, and there could be a lot of noise. People shouting. Okay, shouting. Now, if we're going to make it the Great Fire of London, it could be before the fire, as the fire is about to break out, the day after the fire, or a week after the fire. There's no reason why it has to be at the very instant that Pudding Lane burns down. So just off the top of my head, we'll say that this was the afternoon going into the night time of the day that the Great Fire of London broke out. Because if you think about it, in the 17th century, people would be selling their wares until they had none left. They wouldn't say, well, it's 5 o'clock or 5:30, we need to close now. Okay? And through discussion and through your own knowledge of the subject, you can develop what the children understand about what happened in the mid to late 17th century. Okay, so here we have it. It's a market, it's a busy place, it's smelly, there's a lot of noise, there's people shouting, desperate to get their wares sold. What else would it be? Would it be walled? Would it be open, cobbled, flat? Well, we'll say that there were cobbles because this was a very prestigious market. But there was a smell of rotting vegetables, so that there was rot in the air. What else was it like, and what could you see? Well, let's say like rich people and servants coming to buy things, and the houses close together. Because with any story, what you're trying to do is, you're trying to set a scene. So here we've got the beginning of the story, here we've got the middle of the story, and here we've got the ending of the story. If you think about this boy, one of the things that was said was that he was lazy and he liked to fish, but he hardly ever got a chance to do that. So could we make something from this place, and he was poor? Well, perhaps that's a way to start, from being poor, as he was in the character, to being rich. So that's what's going to happen. Something here in the middle of this story is going to find that has magical and mystical properties that's going to turn him to be rich. That's what you do. You focus on something. It could be that lazy, he becomes hard-working. So we're going to say that the change is going to be rich. All right. So we'll say that he finds an object. Well, if you look on my DVD, A Practical Guide to Creative Writing, it shows you about making bag stories, or stories out of bags, and I'll just choose something. This is the first thing that's on here. It's a box. It's a series of cards that are used in mathematics. This is going to be what he finds, something that gets dropped out of somebody's pocket that he can pick up. Okay? We said that there are rich people in this place, so we're going to say these. So again, you would show it to the children, you would say, what could this be? What could its magical properties be? But we're going to say these cards. Cards. Perhaps with him being young, he wouldn't be able to read or write. So we're going to say cards, he doesn't know what they are. Doesn't know. He doesn't know what they are. He's going to try and give them back. Because we might have said that he was lazy, but there's no reason for him to be a thief. Try and give them back. No one wants them. I always think it's a good idea to make sure you don't have too many characters, but we'll say that they fell from a woman's, an old woman's pocket. And what it is, she doesn't want them. But she does want to help the boy. honestly, I haven't pre-prepared this. This was a blank sheet of paper. I didn't know there were going to be cards there. It's practice that makes this work. Okay. She doesn't want them. She looks at him. And he tries to give them. So you can always draw an arrow between the two. She looks at him and refuses to take them back, but smiles. Because she's trying to help him. Okay? What is it that these cards are going to do? A great fire. There could be, I'm going to say from the top of my head, I would say that because he can't read, he'll be able to recognise places that he needs to go. So it could be like a pack of cards that have arrows, and it's like a map. So it's like a map, arrows, cards, with directions on. And it's going to be that he follows them out of curiosity. Follows them out of curiosity, and it leads him to safety. Do you know something? You've got to think about the way that the Great Fire of London spread, and it would be too easy to say, and then he found himself out in the middle of the countryside, and there was the old lady. Let's make it so that we use this market again. If it was walled and broad, it could lead him right back to the middle of the market, where he would find himself surrounded by fire, but safe. Market, fire, safe. And there we've got, in a short space of time, something that happens. These cards, we're not going to make them glow. That's a little bit kind of cliched. But we've got it so that he starts in the market, he finds these magical cards, and he gets led to safety. And I would say that that is a pretty good story, plot and plan. There is not a lot there. And if the children have done this, so on one side they have the character, and on the other side they have the actual plot, well, what can happen is, how fortuitous is that? I've made myself a table. They can do it like that, character on one side, and turn it around like that, to look for the setting, and keep turning it around, and turning it around. And it stands in front of them, and even in their trays, it falls small and flat, so it doesn't get scrumpled up and ruined. I'll tell the story in the next session.